Do cricket players need to do cardio? And if they do, what kind of cardio do they need to do? Can it be done on a bike, a rowing machine, or does it have to be running? These are very common questions that I get from cricketers all the time. And in this video today, I'm going to break down 4 different types that I like our athletes to be doing. And if you're new here, my name is Sam, and I started CricketFit to educate cricketers like yourself about how fitness can help you to improve your game. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, hit subscribe and come along for the journey. Now, to understand whether cricket players actually need to do cardio, we need to first understand what actually cardio is. And it's one of these phrases in fitness that everyone says, but actually it can mean very different things. So if I was to be very pernickety, good word, it's short for cardiovascular exercise or activity, which is any activity which is going to raise your heart rate for a prolonged period of time. My issue with that is that could technically mean going for a walk with your dog, doing weights at the gym, or even just going up some stairs, because all of those things raise your heart rate, right? But it's not what you actually mean when you're asking me, what cardio should you do? What you're interested in is what activity that makes you sweat, running, cycling, rowing, can you do to boost your cardiovascular fitness? Which by that, we mean the ability of our heart to pump blood around our body and therefore give oxygen to our cells. So for me to answer that question well for you, we first need to look at the desired outcome that you're looking to achieve. So we know from research that the average heart rate in a cricketer is actually around 140 to 160 beats per minute, which is actually a lot higher than you'd think it would be. But we know that's because cricket is an intermittent sport with frequent periods of high intensity activity. So actually that mean heart rate just represents the fact that our heart rate is getting pretty high at points, but then dropping during periods of rest or recovery. And now for a quick sciencey bit. So during these high intensity actions, such as running into bowl or running a free when you're batting, you've got anaerobic energy systems, such as phosphocreatine breakdown and the glycolytic energy system, responsible for the majority of your energy production. And then during your rest, you've got your aerobic system, dominating during those low intensity periods and also helping the resynthesis of phosphocreatine. Now these energy systems I'll break down in detail in a future video because they can get pretty complex. But if you're breaking it down really simply, which I know a lot of you really value about how we present our stuff here at CricketFit, we've got either producing energy aerobically, where you've got the presence of oxygen, or anaerobically without oxygen. High intensity activity is more likely to use more anaerobic, low intensity aerobic. But it's important to understand that it's never just one or the other. They're always working together, but one's just dominating dependent on how high intensity the activity actually is. So for you, you need to understand that you need to train both systems in order to hit the desired goal. And the issue with that is when you ask me about traditional cardio training, and by that, maybe going on a run for 30 minutes or sitting on the bike for 30 minutes, you're mainly training your aerobic system because it doesn't sufficiently stress your anaerobic system or systems for your sprinting, your bowling, etc. Which means as soon as you have to bowl a prolonged spell or run a free back-to-back after just having run one, you're gassed. So if I was you, this is how I'd split your cardio-related activity. I would do steady state cardio work at a moderate intensity for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. And this is probably what you class as your traditional type of cardio work. So ideally, this is going to be on feet, so it's going to be probably going for a jog or a run. But if you're managing an injury, then the bike, rowing machine, etc. can be great alternatives for this. And the goal of these kind of sessions is to build your aerobic base. And on top of that, you want to layer more intense sessions. So this might look like a high intensity running session where you're working at a sub-maximal intensity, but still a very high intensity, so 90% of your sprint speed. You'd push it hard for maybe 1 to 3 minutes, and you'd complete between 3 to 6 reps, with the rest being about 3 to 4 times as much work as you put in. So if you did 1 minute on, you might do 3 or 4 minutes off. This is what we would refer to as a tempo running session, which are really hard work. And the goal of these is to enhance your aerobic power and improve your ability to tolerate and clear lactate. And these effectively work as a bridge between the aerobic and anaerobic system. And through time, we want these sessions for you to become more aerobic as you get fitter. Then the next layer up, you want to do sprint interval sessions where you're going to work at a higher intensity. So you're going to go max out sprinting and you're going to do it for 15 to 30 seconds, which is pretty tough to do. Repeat 3 to 5 times again. And then with your rest, you want about 3 to 5 times as much as the work you're putting in. So if you sprinted for 30 seconds, you're going to have at least 90 seconds rest to about 3 minutes of rest. And often this works out pretty nicely where you could do a rep, sprint for 15 seconds, let's say, walk back, and that'll work out as your rest. and then you go again. And these sessions, maybe the first few reps are going to be your aerobic system dominating, and then towards the end, it's going to be your anaerobic system. And this really works on your repeat sprint ability, which in cricket is very important. And the final layer on the cake is then your flat out sprinting sessions, where you're more working on your phosphagen system, where you're going to sprint for 5 to 10 seconds and have a lot of rest. 10 to 20 times as much rest as you're doing work. Like I said, all of those energy systems I'll explain in more detail in a future video, but I've deliberately tried not to go too deep here, as it can often make it more complicated than it needs to be. So the key takeaway for you is this. If you want to be able to maintain your energy through your bowling spell or through your batting innings, you need to do more than just a gentle jog in your cardio training. That means high intensity running and sprinting as well. Now, in all of our adult S&C programs on the CricFit app, we include all of this for you. So all you need to do is turn up and do the work. And if that sounds of interest, I'll drop a link in the description below for you to sign up. If the energy systems video, the deep dive into it, sounds of interest, drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know any questions that you want me to answer in that video. And then up next, if you click up here, is going to be a link to our previous video which focused on off-season training for cricket. Thanks for watching.